Hey up everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing alright and looking after yourselves. Today's video is a bit late. I normally upload on Fridays, but if you saw my community tab post, you'll see why I didn't. Basically, we've got a sickness bug in the house, so Thursday and Friday my kids were off school and that slowed down just how much I could build and edit. So I'm recording the voiceover today, which is Saturday. It happens, that's family life for you. But yeah, today we're building this large modern home intended for a family. I built it using cats and dogs, cottage living, snowy escape, Moschino stuff and perfect patio stuff, is that pack called? Which I know sounds a bit of a weird combination, especially for a modern house, but I used cottage living initially because I wanted that brick wallpaper for the exterior. I did try and not use it, but I just really liked it. And I used perfect patio stuff because I liked the fencing. But I mainly use cats and dogs and snowy escape, but you'll see just as I build. So yeah, bit of a weird combination of packs, but I think it works. So this house has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and you could fit up to 5 or 6 Sims here. Just depends what you like do with the bedrooms. You could keep them as they are, or you could fit more beds in them. But I did a parents' room, a room for twin girls, a teens room, and then another room for another child sim. And I'll talk about the bedrooms more as we get to them. But this build took me so long to do, not just the footage that I had recorded, but the planning and the ideas and everything and inspiration. And just everything that it takes to make a speed build just seemed to take me twice as long. And it's basically just because my youngest kid had a stomach bug. Wednesday they woke up and were going to and from toilet all night, and early hours in morning as well, so they were off school. I've got 2 kids by the way, and yeah, kept them both off school because I couldn't take one to school without the other, you know what I mean? It wouldn't make sense to like drag them to school when they need to be within like reach of a toilet. So yeah, I kept them both off, and that obviously meant that I were in parent mode for the day, well for 2 days, which is usually when I'd be building. So I managed to get some building and planning done of the build, but it was just very slow going compared to like my usual pace, which isn't like all that fast to be honest, but it's fine. We're here now, and even though it were a bit more difficult or it took a bit longer to build and record and edit, I still really enjoyed building this house and I really like how it turned out. So I'm just doing the landscaping out the front at the moment, and for the landscaping I wanted it to be quite simple and like tidy looking. So I did some garden beds that I like fenced off just using that low base game fence, and then I just did like a plain driveway and path and used a little roof piece to make this little ramp that goes up into the garage, which is obviously just for like nearly said aesthetics rather than function, as we don't have working cars. And then I used these square hedges to make one long hedge just to neaten it all up. And for the plants, I went with my usual ones that I use in most of my builds. I was tempted to use romantic garden stuff as well, because there's some really nice plants in that pack, but I decided not to bother because I'd already used like 2 stuff packs. And especially when using like perfect patio stuff, I don't know like how many people have that. I don't know if it's really like a popular pack, but that's the stuff pack that came with hot tubs. And then when it was the 20th anniversary of the Sims franchise, they gave us a free hot tub. So I think that pretty much renders the perfect patio stuff pack pretty useless, but I don't know, I think it's a decent pack myself. It has some nice items and I really like the fence, as I said. Then I decided to put a fountain in this square bit. It were either going to be like a space for a fountain or a bird bath or something like that. And just doing the kitchen now. Normally I start the interior doing bedrooms first. Not sure why I usually do it like that, but I had an idea in mind of like what I wanted the kitchen layout to be, so I started with that first. But I do change the swatches of the kitchen, so I start off with this black swatch of the snowy escape counters, and I'm just placing the counters like over themselves to cover the shelves, because I do like those counters, but I just don't like them all having open shelves. I would have liked there to be like a closed cabinet option, because then I want to clutter them, and I think it looks a little bit daft when they're absolutely full of clutter and plates and all that. So yeah, start off with the black counters, and then I changed the flooring to a dark wood swatch, and then the counters, I think I changed them to the white and like orangey tan colour wood. It's like that natural wood colour. I'm not sure how to describe it, but you'll see by the end of the video what it ended up looking like. But yeah, I really wish that when it came out, Snowy Escape, that they would have made the cupboards like a closed option of these counters, because I do really like them with the shelves and that, but I don't like using them for bigger kitchens. It's not too bad if you're furnishing like a small house and the kitchen has like 2 or 3 counters, but when you've got like more, like I've got in the kitchen here, I just don't like the look of it all being open, because there's like no in between for me. I either clutter every single shelf and then it looks a little bit daft, or I leave them blank and that looks equally, if not more, daft. And I can't just clutter one and have the rest empty, because that looks a bit daft as well, so I can't win. Also, I think it looks weird having a sink on the counter, because like realistically you'd have like plumbing underneath. I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky, but I just think that the counters could have done with some closed versions. Then I did this dining area bit using the base game table and chairs that we got with the 21st birthday free update thing, where we got items made by custom content creators. And I use the build items that we got with that all the time, possibly in every build. And I really wish that this is what they made the kits for. I don't think I'm the first to suggest this, and I have said it before, like months ago when kits first came out. But I think kits could have been like a great opportunity for the Sims team to collab with CC creators. Like imagine every kit just being a small collection of items, Maxis match items made by CC creators, like they did with the update. And then the CC creators could like earn some of the profits or whatever. Don't ask me how they'd work that out, like what they'd get. I'd love to say that all the proceeds would go to them, but I know that that's not how it works. But say if the kits sell for like a £5 and then the creators got half of that or something, I think that would have like made it so that more simmers would be like on board with kits and the amount of kits that have been released. To be fair, I wouldn't mind if they released as many kits as they have, if they also gave us some gameplay in like the form of a pack. We've not had anything since, Cottage living, and since that it's been notebook kits. Speaking of which, I've not even got the modern menswear one yet, the most recent one that came out as a recording this. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. I probably will get it because I'm daft like that and I own alt packs, so I wouldn't like to have them all except one. But yeah, I'm not like excited for it at all. I want some gameplay, and the scenarios that they keep adding are not going to cut it for me. But yeah, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on the new kit if you've got it. Did the clothes hold up? Do you like them? I think it's great that they want to include something that breaks like gender norms and all that sort of thing, but I don't know, I don't particularly like what there is. Like I've looked at an overview video, well I've looked at a few overview videos of like the items and stuff, and some of the textures just look really weird. Mostly I'm like indifferent towards it, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not bothered. But let me know what you think, I'd be interested to know. Anyway, just doing this little entryway thing that I did. Also changed this area as well, just changed the swatches once I changed the flooring and that. And then I'm doing the living room, which I did kind of struggle with the layout because I knew that I wanted the fireplace on this like back wall, because that's where I've got the chimney. I know in terms of gameplay it don't really matter where the fireplace is in relation to a chimney. You don't even need a chimney, but when you have one and you light the fire, smoke will come out of it. But I always like to have the fireplace where the chimney would be in real life, so like directly above it, in relation to like where the smoke would come out of it, if that makes sense. And then that like affected the layout, so I did like a 2-in-1 living room sort of thing. So you've got like your fireplace where your Sims can sit round and sit by the fire and all that, and then you've got your TV bit where they can sit and watch TV. And yeah, I liked how it looks in the end. I just think the layout is a bit odd, I don't know. And I tried so hard not to use my current favourite wallpaper, but I couldn't help myself. It were inevitable that I were going to use that, but I think it suits it. I've said it before though, if you've watched like my previous videos, I'm just obsessed with that wallpaper. I don't know what it is, I just love the colour so much, and I think it goes with like a lot of different styles as well. But then after we do the living room, I think I move on to the upstairs and do the bedrooms, even though I've not done the garage yet, and then there's an office that I do as well. But I was just getting ideas for the bedroom as I was building, and I just decided quickly to move on to the bedrooms before I forgot like the ideas that I was thinking about. And to be fair, I was getting a bit bored like doing the downstairs, because it might not look like it on the speed build, but I'd already gone through and like planned some of the layout and stuff, and like what objects to put down. So I'm not just like building off the top of my head, I do actually plan each room a little bit. Not always, and not fully, but I'll place like a few items down off camera, try different layouts and swatches, different objects and stuff. So speed build's not just me like building on the spot, it does actually take quite a bit of planning, and the bigger the house the more planning it takes, which is why this video is late on top of all the time that it took, just because of the fact that I couldn't really spend all my time on it consistently because of like family stuff. But yeah, now that we've actually moved on to the bedroom, and this is the main bedroom or the parents' bedroom, and I went with light wood and black accents for this room, and I really like how it turned out actually. I also didn't realise as well, this don't really have out to do with the bedroom, but I just thought of it as I'm looking at it, but I didn't realise that we got the window that was meant to be in the industrial loft kit. We got that recently in a base game update. I don't know how I missed it, but yeah, it looks quite nice actually. So yeah, that just like completely flew over my head, and I didn't know about it or when that came out. But yeah, that's good. Oh, and while I remember, I did actually make this house with room for a pet. I weren't going to at first. I didn't really think about it, to be honest, so it just didn't really cross my mind. But then I thought, oh well, why not? I am using cats and dogs. So I put a couple small pet beds down, one in the parents' bedroom and then one in the living room that's downstairs. And then I put a pet food bowl in the kitchen, obviously, and a pet toy box outside in the back garden. Obviously, if you download this build and you don't want to have a pet in it, you don't have to, but I don't always like make houses with pets in mind. I usually forget, if I'm honest, because when I play The Sims 4, I don't really play with pets. But yeah, thought that this family living here could have a small dog or something, or a cat, but I didn't put down a litter tray, so you'd have to put a litter tray down if you wanted to have a cat here. I'm actually really excited as well to play Sims 2 with pets. I did have pets at one point when I played it when I was younger. The only packs that I had were seasons and pets, but I ended up uninstalling pets because it used to crash my game. I think it was because the disc were faulty or something, it might have had a scratch on it, because after a while it stopped working. But yeah, not really played with pets in The Sims 2, so I'm looking forward to that. But that Sims 2 Let's Play, it is coming soon. I know I keep like talking about it and saying that I'm going to do one, but it's just difficult with like the amount of echo in my office. At the minute I'm recording voiceovers for speed builds in my bedroom, which is fine because I need to just like plug in my mic into my laptop, which is just on floor to avoid like picking up the fan. But in my office it's just like a small square. Well, it's literally a cube, and that's like one of the worst shapes because the sounds just like bounce off each wall, and the echo is just so bad. I don't want to like record a let's play, my first let's play of my favourite game of all time, with like shitty audio, so I'm going to wait till next week and see if I can get some panels up to like help with the echo. But we're actually getting our windows and doors replaced on Monday, so the house is just going to be in a right state, so I don't want to like start recording until all that's sorted. But yeah, the house is going to be in a right state for like a full day while that's getting done. I'm quite stressed about it actually, because I think like of all the mess and to replace every single window and then your front and back door as well in a day, it's just going to be like chaos. And I want to get some like curtains for the office as well, and I can't really do that till after the windows have been sorted because I need like a curtain pole as well. I've got a blind in there at the minute, but I think curtains are going to be better because the window is actually like the most, I don't know the word, like what it's called, but it's like the worst surface for bouncing sounds off, and I've got a roller blind in there and that's just not going to do enough to like absorb the sound, so I need some curtains. I want to get some that are like the ones in my bedroom, which are like quite thick, and I'm going to order a bookshelf for my office as well, just to like fill the room up a bit because there's like not much in there. But I will keep you updated on all that stuff, and I might even do like a community post sort of thing documenting the process with that. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing like pictures showing my setup and whatever. It's very basic at the moment, like I only started it a couple of months ago and I'm not rich or out, so it's a slow process, but I want to get it looking decent, but I also want it to be functional, so I don't want any echo. Anyway, we're just finishing off with the twins room at the moment. I really love how this room turned out. I think it's my favourite room in the house, actually. I just love the colours and like how it all came together. I think it turned out really cute. Then we're doing the teens room, and I did this kind of imagining that they're an aspiring photographer or they want to go into like the fashion career at some point. You know that career that comes with Moschino stuff? Is it the fashion photographer career? Well, that basically. So They end up with a desk and a laptop where they can like get gigs, and then they've got like an expensive camera. I don't know if teen Sims can actually do the fashion photographer career. I don't think they can, but they could also be a young adult living at home, saving up to buy their own house. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, went with a lot of black swatches in this room, and I did like 2 accent walls with the black and white wallpaper. And I also put up the art sketches from the art career because I thought that they'd be quite like a creative sim. Maybe they've sketched up ideas for poses to photograph or something like that. And then just placing items on the desk. They've got an expensive computer at the minute, which I do change to a laptop in the end because I think it makes more sense with the idea behind it, like a young adult or a teen that would be saving money. So yeah, they've got a laptop by the end of it that you get with the freelancer career. And then just furnishing this little hallway thing. The floor plan upstairs is a little bit weird. I ended up with 2 hallways, like I've got the stairs hallway and then another one to the side. But it's right. This house obviously belongs to a family that are quite well off, so they've got like a mini living room upstairs. Might not make much sense in real life, but it's The Sims, so it's fine. Actually, they've got a 3rd living room because I did a sunroom as well, which is just like filled with chairs and settees from the Perfect Patio stuff pack. So clearly millionaires then. That's how I calculate being wealthy, if you've got like more than 1 living room and having a utility room as well. This house doesn't actually have a utility room, but they do have a garage, so if you've got laundry day stuff, then you can put your washer and dryer in the garage if you want. And for the final kids room, I wanted a space themed bedroom, so I used that bed that used to be from Parenthood, but they've made that base game with the bunk beds update. And yeah, used that and then went with the dark wood swatch of the Cottage living flooring. And it took me ages to decide on a wallpaper, so I'll come back to that in a bit with this room. I think I went with that mountain wallpaper. But yeah, it's quite a narrow room, so I just placed what I could to reflect a kind of nerdy theme. Not that liking space and science is nerdy, but you know what I mean. I don't know if the term nerd is like seen as a negative thing anymore. It's not that like commonly used in the part of England that I live, so well, it weren't when I was a kid anyway. We used to use like the word geek, which is basically the same thing. It's used to like mean someone that's into like video games or maths or something. I don't really know, but either way, this kid whose room this is loves science. They've got the science table and some pictures of space. And yeah, I imagine that when they grow up, they'd want to work in the science career or maybe the engineering career or something like that. Then I returned to the downstairs part of the house and decorated the office. Didn't do too much in here, just went with the dark wood theme, and I think it turned out pretty good actually. Really like using the black wood swatches. I need to use them more often actually. I usually go with like lighter swatches or like more neutral colours. But yeah, just put some more clutter on the bookshelves from the Moschino stuff pack, and I really like those bookshelves. I think they're probably one of my favourite bookshelves in the game actually. And I used the banana leaf wallpaper again, obviously, why wouldn't I? Although I don't think I went too overboard with it this time. It's not in every single room, so that's good. And I think that's where I swapped out the expensive computer in the teens room for a laptop, and then the office got like a mid-range computer, and I moved it closer to the window because I wasn't really liking it in the middle of the room. And yeah, not really much else to say about this room. It's quite a long voiceover today, isn't it? Slightly longer than my usual videos, so I'm sort of like running out of things to say about the build and just trying to remember my thought process as I were like building it and stuff. But yeah, I just put down a collection of guitars and some artwork, and then I put down the corner settee from Cats and Dogs, and that's about it really before we move on to garage. And for the garage, I just put some gym equipment in there, a wood working table, some like skis from Snowy Escape, which are obviously just decorative items, and just random bits really. If I were using laundry day stuff for this build, I would have put the washer and dryer in here as well. And then after the garage, we'll be doing the back garden. And I also did a sunroom, as I said earlier, which I just included as more of like an entertainment area. So there's like a music player, a stereo, whatever it's called, you know what I mean. The names of things are like disappearing at the minute out of my head because I've been talking for so long. But yeah, they've also got a bar on the back porch as well. And I also decided to put down a chicken coop for some reason. I was doing the back garden and my partner came over and we're like, oh, what are you building? And I was scrolling through the outdoor activities bit of the catalogue and I was like, oh, I don't know what to put down. And then I saw the chicken coop and thought, well, there you go, our chicken coop. This family can raise a few chickens. So yeah, that's about it for this build. I'm going to end the voiceover now. Don't forget to stick around for the screenshots at the end and you can see the finished build. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and don't forget that I'm doing a challenge over on my Instagram where you can win a stuff pack. So I'll link to that post in the description of the video. The deadline to get your builds in for that is this month, so if you want to take part, there's still time. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. Bye!